We're going to go straight to Carol now, who is somewhere completely beautiful for us this morning. She's at the Chelsea Flower Show. Morning, Carol.
Good morning, everyone. You're quite right, Sal, and I'm actually in the Samaritan's Listening Garden, which is what you're seeing at the moment. And it evokes experiences of people who reach out to the Samaritans. Like life, the path through the garden has obstacles that can be overwhelming, but seen from a different perspective, they can become a bit less daunting. And this path actually leads all the way up to this area here, which is calming and relaxing. Now here at the moment there's quite a bit of cloud across the southeast of England. That cloud will tend to break as we go through the course of the day and we'll see a bit more sunshine. For most of us today the forecast is a largely dry one with some sunny spells. And Sal and John, it looks like we're going to hang on to this dry and settled weather for most of the country, for most of the week, and even, dare I say it, into next weekend.
Carol, that is brilliant news for people who like to maybe get outside and do a bit of gardening.
It was lovely over the weekend for lots of
places.
places.
Gorgeous, wasn't it? Carol, thank you.
Good morning. There's plenty of fine, dry and sunny weather in the forecast this week as high pressure is in charge. This morning, a fair amount of cloud around, but that should start to break as we head further through the day.
Good morning, Sal and John. Good morning to you too. You're absolutely right, Sal. I'm now in this Centre Point garden. Now, this Centre Point garden represents the work that Centre Point does with young people facing homelessness. And if you look at the mural just over here, there are 120,000 dots on this mural, and that represents more than 120,000 young people that faced homelessness last year. The garden itself shows the ruin, for example, of a home, so represented by this tree. So it might seem hopeless and daunting, but then it shows all the plants around it, and they represent new life that can be born from this situation. So it's not hopeless at all, or not as hopeless as it seems. And last night, there was a tent in this particular garden, and inside that tent is TV personality Vicky Pattison, who's been sleeping out overnight, again further representing this message that Centre Point are putting across. And I can tell you it's been a chilly start to the day here at the Chelsea Flower Show this morning, so I hope she was wrapped up nice and warmly.
Carol, I was just thinking, looking at the pictures there, it's amazing how established those gardens look so quickly. I mean, it looks like it's been there forever, and yet it's built specially for this week.
You're absolutely right, John. They go up in a flash and they come down in a flash, and a lot of the gardens are taken away elsewhere and rehomed. But they look like they've been here for years, don't they?
Yeah, well, I know you love it as well. You love this week, don't you? So we look forward to seeing more of it with you later. Thank you, Carol.
Good morning, both. Good morning to you too. You're right, Sal. It is beautiful and the weather's been very kind as well. We're in the Nurture Landscapes garden. Now, this garden is very much developed with the theme of sustainability, as all the show gardens here at Chelsea are this year. And it reuses things like canvas and also rubble, that kind of thing. And it's a sociable space for relaxing. And you can see from the beautiful irises, it is a stunning garden. Now, there's lots of stunning gardens here, and later on this morning we've got a Chelsea Flower Show first. There's going to be a wedding taking place, and that's in one of the gardens just down there, which will bring you closer to 9 o'clock. And later again, the King and Queen are going to be visiting the Chelsea Flower Show. So lots going on here today. Good morning, Sal and John. Good morning to you too. I'm in the Royal Entomological Garden, and you can see from that lovely little pond there's hardly a breath of wind here. Now, this garden highlights the importance of insects and biodiversity and what they can bring to your garden. But I want to show you the structure behind me here. Look at that. It represents the eye of an insect, and it mimics the way an insect sees, rather like its lens. And when the sun shines on these discs, the reflection is absolutely beautiful. But not just that. This week, it's not just a pretty garden we're looking at here. There's research taking place as well. So things, for example, like what kind of insects and how many insects will be in this garden will be monitored and also recorded. And at the end of Chelsea Flower Show, this garden in its entirety is going to be moved to IQL in Stratford.
We're about to put it all into perspective.
Yes.
We're going to get real garden envy this morning.
I've definitely got garden envy because my garden does not look like that. Carol is there and is going to give us some expert tips, I hope, aren't you, Carol?
I couldn't like that, Sal, but
I knew that'd make her laugh.
It is a beautiful garden. If you've ever heard the word endamental, it means a mixture of the plants that you can eat and those that you can't. So in here, there's lots of vegetables. For example, there's carrots, there's spinach, there's beetroot, there's rhubarb, to name but a few. And behind me, you can see a working kitchen. Now, in that working kitchen, there is a Michelin Green Star sustainable chef, and he takes vegetables from the vegetable patches. And this week, every day, he's going to be cooking lunch for the Chelsea pensioners. And today, the lucky things are having some smoked trout. How yummy does that sound? But look how pretty it is. It just shows how you can mix your vegetable patches with your regular flowers. So perhaps that's a bit of a tip. A tip, yes. And Sal and John, I don't know if that was much of a tip that I gave you, but hey, the garden looks fabulous.
You're right, the garden looks amazing. I hope they give you some food quite soon.
Well, you may laugh.
Gardeners World have been on the phone.
Sal,
They want to sign you up.
Well. Not. I forgot to mention though, Sal and John, there's a wedding taking place here this morning as well. That is a Chelsea Flower Show first.
Carol, do we hear wedding bells?
Yes, indeed, Sal. Good morning, everybody. This is a Chelsea Flower Show first. A wedding is about to take place here. Now, it's running a little bit late, as often happens with weddings, but if I get out of the way, you can see the kaleidoscope of colour. It's Manoj Maldi and Clive Gilmore who are tying the knot on the RHS Eastern Eye Garden of Unity, and this embodies unity between all communities. It's a legally binding ceremony, and in fact, the celebrant is James Alexander Sinclair, who's just walked across shot in that grey suit. You may recognise him from other gardening programmes, amongst other things. And this garden is for everyone.